And in this junior high school where I was terrified, it was a kind of a strange slum or whatever that my mother plopped us into because it was the best that she could do. There was a drama teacher. And I just recently found out his name was Mr. Adolph, because I found out from a man here who was our real estate broker that he went to the same school. He was not bothered by it, and he remembered Mr. Adolph, and he remembered me. My name was Marilyn Miller, and I was terrified. And this Mr. Adolph said, "You should be an actor." I said, "Oh, yeah, fine, okay. I'll be an actor." No, he said, "You should be an actor, and you should go to the High School of Performing Arts." And I said, "Okay, where is that in relation to Thomas Jefferson High School on Pennsylvania Avenue in East New York?" He said, no, you go and you audition and you go to Performing Arts. We did a number, professional job, because we did a number of little showcases from Gene Frankel's studio, all of which were overdone, and every lesson you ever learned in acting school, mosquitoes were there, and you were drinking, you did every exercise in those first few years of playing. Then I was living in the village with my first husband, who was a writer, and he was working at the time to support us in Wall Street. And there was a man in the Wall Street place where he worked that said, a neighbor of mine, a friend of mine, Dr. William Carlos Williams, is doing a play in a place called the Living Theater on 14th Street and 6th Avenue. Now, I had passed that theater 1,000 times, but I didn't know it was a theater. I didn't know it was upstairs, a flight of steps on 14th Street and 6th Avenue. I think it's now an optometrist and something else. And there was a theater upstairs. And he invited us to the opening night of Many Loves. And it was the first time I saw Judith, who was a revelation. May she rest in peace. She's just recently gone. And we saw Many Loves, which is 3 one-act plays. And I was stunned. That was what I wanted to do. That was the kind of theater I wanted to do. It was a great deal of freedom, sometimes too much, because sometimes there were other things going on. But it was partially that we were young, and it wasn't about the equity rule, and then you had to stop, and you had to have a 10-minute break, and you took your rehearsal skirt off and you went out and went to the bathroom and found the phone because there was no cell phone. There was the 10-minute break you had to take. And I guess that's better, but I like the other one better. Where you just worked until you said, I can't, I'm tired. Let's stop. Okay. You don't want to stop? Oh, let's go another little while. We'll finish up. Let's finish the scene. Let's do this. It was looser. It was all about discovering things, and during the course of which you discovered things about yourself as well. I'm sure that's still going on. But this early stuff, where no one had trod before, seems to me it is a wonderful memory. The significance of it.
Yeah.
It's your baby. It's what paved the way for a lot of the smaller theaters with the mission statement, if you will, of doing small personal things. I find now when I do readings, or I'm not working so much anymore now, but when I do play, the whole point of doing the play was if we could move it. Move it to Broadway, when I move it here. I don't want to move it. Let's do the play here. Let's let it run here, let it have its life. If it's going to have a life, it's going to be hand to God, or it's going to be whatever, fine. But the point then was to do the play, if possible to have a company, if possible to have some political, Jewish, Irish point of view, and live within that, doing the most and the biggest we can, as opposed to, this play is good, if we can't get it on Broadway, let's do it here and see who we can get to move it. We must have an off-Broadway theater, and there must be a place for young people to work, even old people do. But it's very important that we have an off-Broadway theater, and that it not be about the administrative offices, but about the stuff that goes on the stage, which is very important, and it can't, I mean, it has to, I guess, in this day and age, be all about grants, because you got to pay rent, and rents are ridiculous. But we have to have the theater.